Hello. Before we get going with today's episode, I wanted to have a heartfelt moment to thank people who sent a kind word, an emoji, or likes my way. You have made many a day, and to you I say, thanks ever so much for being awesome. Since I started making videos a few weeks ago, which I consider fun little projects to show new and established guildmates various ways to enhance their game experience, I've been getting some oddly negative messages with a common theme, and I kid you not, the word clown. For the first time since 2016, clowns are making a comeback in my world, and not in a good way. My understanding is that it's a respectable profession and a remarkable form of artistic expression, but since the ones I'm dealing with aren't upstanding as I'd expected, I contacted an industry expert, Randy Christensen.
Hi, I'm Randy Christensen, president of the World Clown Association. Whoever is doing this crazy stuff is not a clown. This is somebody that's trying to use a good, clean, wholesome art form and then distorting it. This is not clowning. This person is not a clown.
Seeing as Randy confirmed I'm being attacked by fakes, I will try my best to look past the scary makeup and address the points they made. First one, craft 7 to save 1 guaranteed has been a feature since the almanacs was introduced some 10 years ago. Here's a video of the official Dofus channel that explains how it works exactly. It's not a bug, it's a feature. And if it were to disappear by some miracle, it will hardly happen because of my 10 runes. One YouTube is littered with French YouTubers making billions every time the event comes around. Once more, just in case you're having a slow day in the office. It's a feature, not a bug. Second one. I'm always reluctant to give advice because it usually is not my place to do so. Today, I'm feeling charitable and the message was addressed to me directly, so I will provide you a couple for free. The formula you start with in logic and rhetoric is called a false front. Anything that starts with I am not X tends to spiral quickly towards X. Funny how that happens. Otherwise, why would you say you aren't that in the first place? And can I just say, the whole thing could have been avoided by simply reading the video description. Right, enough with that now. If I may be permitted a pun to segue into today's video, the circus is now closed. A couple of days ago, the 8th of August, marked another 15% Ecocraft in Bonta. Can I just say, this one was a lot more normal than the previous lucky one I've had, and I'm perfectly content with the amounts I've saved, despite not keeping any of the 2 major ingredients we will see now. I'll start with a reminder of how it works, in theory, then show practical example to respond to a brilliant exchange I had with a commenter who knows his stats. The way Ecocrafts work in detail is as such. Instead of one recipe disappearing in exchange for the item or items you're crafting like for like, as in one recipe equal one item, during these special days, the software runs a randomizer of 15% per individual component of the recipe. That is every square you see here. The way it calculates it is by multiplying the quantity of the resource by 0.15. Whatever the result is, it takes the integer part, or the whole number, anything before the comma, as how many you are guaranteed to save. Then the rest is a percentage to save 1 extra. Let's take a simplified Jahash recipe with 3 ingredients to show an example. You have 9,000 reflections, 22 tourmalines, and 1 Jahash resource itself. So for the 9,000 reflections, you multiply the number by 0.15, which gives you 1350. It's all an integer or a whole number, so you're guaranteed to save this much. 22 tourmalines times 0.15 gives you 3.3. That means you're guaranteed to save 3, then have a 0.3 or 30% chance to save 1 extra. If you're lucky, you're saving 4. With average luck, you're saving 3. The Jahash stone itself, since the quantity is 1, you multiply that by 0.15, so you have a 15% chance of saving the stone itself with 0 guarantees. Here's where a lot of the confusion I see comes from. In the example before we made 1 Jahash. So let's ask a question. What happens if we made 7 Jahashes at once? Well, it depends. There's 2 ways we could make it. Either 1 Jahash 7 times or 7 Jahashes at once. If we made 1 Jahash 7 times, then this brilliant comment explains how you have a 68% chance of saving the 1 Jahash resource. However, and the big however, the way the game is coded allows to craft multiples of items at once, and what happens is it combines the resources all together as if you were making one recipe. Look here, so let's run the math again for 7 Jahashes one time. 9,000 reflections times 7, that's 63,000. If we multiply that by 0.15 as we usually do, you're guaranteed to save 9,450. Tourmalines, 154 multiplied by 0.15 gives you 23 3 guaranteed and 10% chance of saving 1 extra. The Jahash stone now, you have 7 of those. If we apply the 15% randomizer effect on it, it gives you 1.05. And we said earlier, you're guaranteed to save the integer part, and everything that comes next is a percentage of saving 1 extra. So here you're guaranteed to save 1 and 5% chance of saving a second one. This is exactly what I was referring to in my previous video when I said 105. So what happens when you make something during an Ecocraft day? If you make 7 of anything, you are guaranteed to save the entire recipe 1 time. This is how it's coded because 7 times 15 gives you 105. So that's a 100% chance of keeping one thing. And this is also what this sarcastic comment refers to. And just to leave no room for confusion, this only works if you put all 7 recipes to craft at once. If you do them individually, your chance of saving a Jahash resource goes from 1 guaranteed with 5% chance of saving another one to 68% chance of saving just the 1, as this gentleman astutely calculated. Cool, that's settled now. On to my teeny weeny fun 60 million Kama Ecocraft. The idea here is that every almanacs I will make a bunch of items I want for PvP, increase my PVM options, or craft the legendary items for which I dropped resources in chest openings in dreams. By the way, chest opening videos coming soon. Or, as a last resort, just turn some of my bank resources into items to crush or mage and sell. And in today's list, there's mostly PvP stuff, coupled with loads of items for the series, birth or crush. So stay tuned for those. Let's start with a quick tip for crafting things with 1 expensive ingredient, such as the Bleeding Heart boots. The Aspen sap costs 9 to 10 million Kamas. The boots themselves cost 10 million Kamas. What's the catch here? The idea is, converting the sap into a log, and then the log into an item, gives you not 1, but 2 15% chances of saving something worth a lot. This eventually gets priced into the resources and explains why most often legends, rare resources have a cost premium attached to them, which means they're almost always pricier than the crafted items themselves. So here I'm going to craft everything on these 2 lists to level a farmer 200 and another one to finish alchemist 200, and then craft the pricey potion for the cape, the log for the boots, and then we'll do the items. Let's see how all of this goes and then check how much we saved at the end. Let's go!
You should probably forget me, cause I'm terrified you'll get me when I'm at my worst. It's not too late to let you know that you're in love with a ghost. So run! Pack up your bags and run. Once you see the truth, you'll be over it. Run! And when it's all said and done, you just gotta run. I could whisper sweeter things and back to me you'd crawl. Puppeteer your love for strings, but it's not love at all. My ego's still providing, I'm not the one who's driving, but I can't find the brakes. Yeah, girl, there's no denying that even though I'm trying, I'm your next mistake. I'm falling in deep. You should take me at my word. It's not too late.
Voila! The final reveal to see how much we saved by preparing in advance and crafting on this special day. This is the sure value, then all of this is pure profit.
Yeah, boy.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit sad that I didn't save the Snowy Star or the Aspen Sap, but it's life. Sometimes you win, others you don't, and that's what keeps it interesting. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and by all means do say in the comment section if there's anything you'd like to see in the channel. I read every single comment and reply where appropriate. And for those of you who stuck this far, I have a little something for you. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I'm big on using tools to make life easier. I've shown you previously how to handle item craft lists, but how do I manage things like craft lists and quantities to level professions? I use this marvelous tool called Dofus.
Another one.
And another one.
where you enter the XP amount of the profession you wish to level, and then select the items you wish to craft in chunks of levels until 200. You add them to your saved list by clicking here, then you go to the actual list which shows you the items that you are going to need to craft, and then to further see the resources you need in granular detail, you select this purple plus here at the top to enlarge it, and voila. Once more, thank you for watching and catch you on the next one. Peace!